Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so crazy?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our We will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Lanez, so what happens? So he goes away, recently stabbed 14 times in prison. Many say it was a hit, okay? Because new evidence is about to come out. All right, a little conspiratorial, but he was definitely stabbed. Lanez supporters believe that the media doesn't care because Megan Thee Stallion is represented by Jay-Z's Rock Nation. Now, I could give a damn about Jay-Z or his company. This just wasn't a case on my radar until now. Why? Anna Paulina Luna. She is a representative from Florida. You see her here on a regular basis. She says she's got new evidence, says it wasn't him. And she joins us now. Representative APL, it's good to have you.
Thanks, Chris. Happy to be back on. And thanks for taking a look at this case.
No, listen, you tell me to take a look at it, I'll look at it. But why did you look at it? I mean, this isn't your jurisdiction. I don't know you to have any connection to any of these people.
Yeah, so as you know, we are on oversight and accountability. And so this case was actually initially flagged for me by Amber Rose. And the reason why I took a particular interest in it is because of the fact that they actually had evidence that they presented to me in my office that actually disproved the conviction. So as you stated earlier, that 0.01% of DNA, they actually found 4 people's DNA on that firearm, none of which was Tory's. Not to mention there was 0 fingerprints on the actual magazine. And also, too, as you said, 0.01% chance. I mean, that evidence in itself should pretty much speak for itself. Also, there's been ring footage that's been obtained that actually disproves the whole dance, Megan. And so what we're seeing is really there was a case of he said, she said. The evidence wasn't actually respected and properly adhered to actually in the trial. And then they also were doing something that I would find pretty wild and egregious. They were actually submitting his lyrics for rap as evidence to the crime. So look, first and foremost, you have to have a free and fair society. That means we need to respect and uphold the justice system. So I actually reached out today to Gavin Newsom's office, and we are requesting an emergency meeting. We're also working with other Democrats, specifically to the California delegation. But I think that this is something that's pretty egregious, that the way that this was handled, the way that it was. I think that it was largely driven by headlines. And aside from the people involved and the parties involved. Obviously, I take domestic violence, I take this very seriously, Chris, but I also take very seriously the fact that I do believe, based on the evidence that I've seen, that Tory's innocent. And I think that it sets a really bad message when you have someone of his...
Joining me now, influencer, TV personality, musical muse, Amber Rose, and now social justice advocate. Amber, thank you. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties. What do you want people to know about why you are advocating for Tory Lanez?
I'm advocating for Tory Lanez because the evidence shows that he's innocent, and he deserves to be pardoned by Governor Gavin Newsom. You know, he's 100% exonerated from the gun, and for that alone, he should be home with his family.
Well, the DNA showed that it could have been any of 4 people, but he sent the text apologizing, and Megan Thee Stallion and her friend Kelsey there that night said it was him. What do you do with that?
Well, I heard the whole story from Tory's mouth. He called me personally from prison, and I now understand why he said sorry, and it's not for any shooting at all. So I'll let him tell that story when he comes home. But the sorry was not for what people think it was for.
Tory Lanez, have you seen this evidence firsthand that you've spoken about?
I actually saw a new affidavit, and there's going to be... I was made aware of some ring footage, so video footage, and actually just talked to one of his attorneys, and so that will likely be released in the next... well, whenever they decide to release it, next couple days.
So does the attorney have that footage right
now?
Yeah,
they have actually a lot of evidence. I'm surprised that, you know, a lot of people, some of it were like, oh, well, that's not new news, but some people were completely unaware too, specifically on the number, you know, the DNA, specifically for the gun, 0.01%. That means that it's literally not him. They also didn't test people, but yeah, so That stuff will all be released, I think, in the coming days.
So, and have you spoken with Governor Newsom or anyone else about this?
I actually have a call into hhis office, and so we're working on scheduling a time. And there's a letter that should be going out to him later on today or tomorrow morning.
So I would assume since these are strictly state charges, this would have to be a state pardon, correct? President Trump can't be involved?
Correct. It's up to Governor Newsom, but I think that, there's a lot of people that are looking at the evidence and saying, hey, this is clearly not correct, that this is an innocent man that's been imprisoned. And I think that that's where, on the federal side of things, when I talked to Tory's in jail, as you know, so I talked to him yesterday on the phone. And I think prison reform is going to be something that he's going to definitely tackle once he gets out. And it's pretty wild that this kind of case can happen. Also, too, he had a gag order placed on him during the trial, so he couldn't even, and that's just so insane. You put gag orders on people so they can't defend themselves. That's nuts.
Finally, why is this so important to you?
My goodness, this guy's an innocently incarcerated man. Obviously, we're by no means perfect, but that type of situation cannot stand if you have a double standard of justice that exists. Also, too, when the evidence was brought forward and presented to me, I was pretty baffled that he was even charged after what I saw. And so specifically, you're talking about someone who's basically been smeared and dragged publicly, saying and alleging that he shot someone in the foot. By the way, did you know that the ballistics evidence says otherwise, and that there's no bullet fragments? They can't locate those alleged bullet fragments. How do you even have a conviction on that? It's really crazy. So,
thanks, Congresswoman. Appreciate it.
Yeah, buddy, that brother's innocent. Free Tory. Free him. And she should be the one in handcuffs. I told you, man. The hell with these celebrities. Hollywood. Look, they say, Rick, sir, calm down, sir. It's almost Friday, sir. Rick, do you need some Pepto-Bismol? Are you constipated, sir? Rick, do you need some Advil? I got ibuprofen and aspirin too, sir. And I even have that alkaline Caesar. It bubbles in the water. You drink it, you knock it back, and you feel like a new man. Calm down, sir. I don't want you to run your blood pressure up today. Free Tory. Free him. Megan Thee Stallion. I told you, it's a disgrace. After I seen this crap right here, after I seen this crap right here, twerking and dancing, twerking the booty at a presidential rally, you just can't make this up, man. You just can't, But the one and only Miss Luna is demanding Governor Newsom to pardon Tory Lanez. She says his 10-year sentence was based on flawed evidence, political pressure, and political bias. Justice must be blind, not driven by headlines. Free Tory Lanez. I call Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, to review Tory Lanez's case and issue a pardon. He's innocent. That brother is innocent. When and again, I told y'all, wait till all this plays out, man. I believe that brother's innocent. Megan Thee Stallions, the BLM scam, the black community, a disgrace, twerking, hot chips, and wannabe gangsters, criminals, gang bangers, woke, no common sense, more twerking, more hot chips. This I'm telling you, man, this generation we have here, the next generation, and this is coming out of my generation, man, it's only getting worse, man. The entertainment industry, the music industry, the hip hop culture, it's only getting worse, man. And people are having fatigue with all this crap. All these fraudulent individuals, all the lying, It's all coming out, man. They got evidence saying, you know, it doesn't look like he shot her. Doesn't look like he was the one that did it. Doesn't look like it. And he's in jail, all stabbed. He locked up, all stabbed up. Go look up the Tory Lanez. I can't show it on here. They'll take the video down. But look at that. Go look at the breaking video of that. The man almost lost his life the other day. You know. But we got to do better, man. We got to we mess this in. But this is what happened when you get involved with trash. When you get involved, and you know what? He's a celebrity. He, you know, and they consider her one of the baddest women out. But this is what happens to young brothers, man, when they get involved with this kind of trash and these kind of women, especially these celebrities. Somebody got to take the fall. Dragged through the mud in his own blood.
Yeah. So now that's why you see from Kamala, Obama, all of them ran to our black celebrities.
Oh,
Jay-Z.
I just seen Lizzo just campaigned in Detroit.
Usher
was just in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And so all of these celebrities
Man
are now,
Plies,
which
Megan
I don't
Stallion.
understand it, because if you're somebody like a Usher, why would you want to, or take? Well, I guess Taylor Swift is kind of too big, but I don't understand why they would put their brand on the line in order to, because half of the country is going to go one way or the other anyway.
But because they're paying them.
They paying them like that?
Yes, man, they raised a lot of money this year. Man, we didn't pick her. They gave her us. They gave her to us. Said, this gonna be our president. Joe Biden, get your ass out of the way. This gonna be our president. Man, they didn't pick her.
Yeah.
But when she said, okay, I'm running, man, she raised so much money and within 24 hours. So it's no secret that her and her campaign deliberately went after black celebrities. Plies. They reached out to Dr. Umar Johnson.
You think that Plies is
yeah, that's why it been campaign. They paying. Megan Thee Stallion. They all getting paid, brother. Man, Dr. Umar Johnson. They tried to.
Now you see look like Charleston White and tons of us others and us conspiracy theorists, and you see how the entire election played out. People paid actors over $1 billion. And Trump didn't even spend half of that. Couldn't beat the man fair and square. Came after your political opponent. Sham trials. Kangaroos jumping on the freeway, highway, at the intersection, at the mailbox. I'm scared as hell. I said walk out. It's a kangaroo across the street from me, looking me dead in my eyes. You know what the hell was going on in America? Banana peels all in the street. Scared to walk down the street in America. Unbelievable. They can't get Oprah to answer the phone. It goes straight to voicemail now. Can't get Oprah to pick up the phone anymore. Oprah got paid. Can't pick up the phone no more. And I'm not issuing a refund. A disgrace, man. And still lost in a landslide. Every single swing state. People that don't even get involved got involved. The hell with these celebrities. The hell with Hollywood. You know. Filthy politicians. Playing in your face. How do y'all feel about this Tory Lanez situation? Let me know, man. Y'all know Rick. I'm gonna come on here and just talk. Y'all know Rick. Keep it real, man. You know. But they got new evidence saying that a lot of evidence saying that Tory Lanez should be innocent. That he's an innocent man. You know. Let me know how y'all feel about it. We're gonna play this clip right here. But Amber Rose, like I showed in the beginning of the intro, is bringing light to this case, and also Miss Anna Luna, doing a great job on this as well. And Luna she's been on top on a lot of things, man. Miss Luna has been at it. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, we got a lot of love for Miss Luna and this bad boy. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. But they got new footage, new evidence, and again, man, the man almost lost his life. So you got doggone right. I'm hotter than fish grease. You know, I'm usually not this hot when it comes to these celebrities. You know, because I think he should have just avoided this entire situation. He should have never even had anything to do with this woman. But hey, you know, I can't tell that man how to live his life. He a celebrity, you know, and at that kind of status and the life he lived. Hey, Tory Lanez had the world in a chokehold in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2020 around COVID. He had the biggest Instagram live streams and most entertaining live streams. He had the world. Tory Lanez had the world in a chokehold. You know, so the man can go out and do whatever he wants, get any woman he wants. You know, and Megan Thee Stallion. You know, a lot of the fellas just like looking at that them booty cheeks and that thing twerking on her knees. She got them knees. She got them knees. They just love her knees. She got them knees. You know. And some of you fellas that's tuned in, you know what I'm talking about. Look up Megan Thee Stallion on the internet. You'll see that thing bouncing up and down and twerking and all kind of crap. Look up on X. You'll see it. You know, it's right there. You know. But this is the what people get themselves into, man, when they mess with this with this trash, man. These people don't care about you. And the industry is a dark place, man. They will have you unalived. They will come for you. And I believe it's way deeper than this. It's way deeper than somebody being shot. It's way deeper than this. You heard what the phone call that they had with Tory Lanez and what he was saying, what he told on the phone and told people in person. It's way bigger than what we think it is. Let's get into this.
Singer, rapper Tory Lanez, convicted of shooting performer Megan Thee Stallion after a party at the Hollywood Hills home of Kylie Jenner. Here's the story. They're at the party. After the party, they get into an argument. Lanez tells Megan Thee Stallion, dance, and shoots at her feet like a cowboy movie, hits her. Proof? Testimony of Megan Thee Stallion, her friend Kelsey Harris, and DNA evidence on the weapon that convinced jurors to convict. Pretty simple, right? Maybe not. Turns out that DNA, only a 0.01% chance that the DNA is from Lanez. He's always maintained his innocence. He was sentenced to 10 years, so this is really about the testimony. Lanez, so what happens? So he goes away, recently stabbed 14 times in prison. Many say it was a hit, okay? Because new evidence is about to come out. All right, a little conspiratorial, but he was definitely stabbed. Lanez supporters believe that the media doesn't care because Megan Thee Stallion is represented by Jay-Z's Rock Nation. Now, I could give a damn about Jay-Z or his company. This just wasn't a case on my radar until now. Why? Anna Luna. She is a representative from Florida. You see her here on a regular basis. She says she's got new evidence, says it wasn't him. And she joins us now. Representative APL, it's good to have you.
Thanks, Chris. Happy to be back on. And thanks for taking a look at this case.
No, listen, you tell me to take a look at it, I'll look at it. But why did you look at it? I mean, this isn't your jurisdiction. I don't know you'd have any connection to any of these people.
Yeah, so as you know, we are on oversight and accountability. And so this case was actually initially flagged for me by Amber Rose. And the reason why I took a particular interest in it is because of the fact that they actually had evidence that they presented to me in my office that actually disproved the conviction. So as you stated earlier, that 0.01% of DNA, they actually found 4 people's DNA on that firearm, none of which was Tory's. Not to mention there was 0 fingerprints on the actual magazine. And also, too, as you said, 0.01% chance. I mean, that evidence in itself should pretty much speak for itself. Also, there's been ring footage that's been obtained that actually disproves the whole dance, Megan. And so what we're seeing is really there was a case of he said, she said. The evidence wasn't actually respected and properly adhered to actually in the trial. And then they also were doing something that I would find pretty wild and egregious. They were actually submitting his lyrics for rap as evidence to the crime. So look, first and foremost, you have to have a free and fair society. That means we need to respect and uphold the justice system. So I actually reached out today to Gavin Newsom's office, and we are requesting an emergency meeting. We're also working with other Democrats, specifically to the California delegation. But I think that this is something that's pretty egregious, that the way that this was handled, the way that it was. I think that it was largely driven by headlines. And aside from the people involved and the parties involved. Obviously, I take domestic violence, I take this very seriously, Chris, but I also take very seriously the fact that I do believe, based on the evidence that I've seen, that Tory's innocent. And I think that it sets a really bad message when you have someone of his stature and also to someone that is as influential as he is, it's being wrongfully incarcerated. And that's exactly why we wanted to use our megaphone for a good reason and help get him his pardon, which I think he'll get.
So, Luna, who did it? I mean, she says and her friends say that he did it.
Oh, Chris. Oh, hell. Maybe you did it, Chris. Shh.
And who else would have done it? And what proof do you have to support that? I get it. Maybe they didn't make the case the right way with the weapon, but who did it?
You know, Chris, that's not for me to weigh in, and that's definitely for the judge and the jury. But what I will tell you is based on the evidence that we have, the evidence that we have says that he wasn't the guy. And so I do think that Gavin Newsom has some great attorneys that will look at this. But I'd also like to point out that the prosecutor specifically on this case that initially brought the charges is a very interesting prosecutor. Look into who ran him. And at the end of the day, you know, I think Hollywood, as you know, Chris, and politics does overlap. And there's a lot of interesting stuff that happened there. So look at the evidence for yourself. We've posted it for the entire world to see, to determine for themselves. And I know that Tory's legal team actually has an incredible case. And so we are calling on Gavin Newsom to issue that pardon immediately. And also remember, he was almost killed in jail. I actually talked to him today on the phone. And he said that once he does get out, once he does get this pardon, which I do feel confident that he'll be getting, he's going to work extensively in prison reform because this should never happen to anyone.
Anna Paulina Luna, this is a really interesting one. I've never covered a situation like this before, but I appreciate you using your platform and let the legal team know. We'll be reaching out if they want to come on to make the case. I'm happy to hear it, and we'll check in with the governor's office as well. Thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah. Of course. And Chris, too, if you want, we can probably connect you with his dad as well. I think it's important for people to know all the facts.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'll check in with you right after the show. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And his dad, you know, his dad, man, seeing that brother cry, you know, but it's crazy how so many Republicans are rooting for these, you know, and it kills that narrative they always talk about. Oh, they don't care for these, they don't care for them, they don't care, especially if they're black. They always use identity politics, you know. But look at Trump's pardons. Look at the people going to bat for these black celebrities. So much for the identity politics and all that racist propaganda rhetoric that they spew, you know. So much for the Republicans not being on their side. You know, you would think Democrats would just be in there, you know, screaming and hollering, you know. As bad as Hollywood and the things that they love and praise and demonize and worship. Trump just pardoned NBA young boy yesterday. I mean, it's all, I tell you, man. Look, man, you know, again, y'all know how I feel about all these celebrities and all this crap that's going on in this world, man. It's insanity, man, you know. Megan Thee Stallion was one of the biggest ones. When I was coming out of high school a couple years ago, we listened to some of her songs. We've heard some of her songs. You know, we leave most of that up to the ladies. We love Tory Lanez music. Again, I have a couple of Tory Lanez albums that I really loved. You know, I listen to the exact same music. You know, hell, they are a huge part of my childhood, my generation. You know, I ain't gonna run away from that. You know, but it's a lot of sick things, a lot of dark things, a lot of things that are being done behind closed doors, and a lot of stuff that a lot of us, you know, are gonna drop our jaws and eyebrows raised when it all comes out. You know, this is bigger than what it is. It's darker than what it is. You know, it's bigger than just somebody's DNA or, you know, evidence being on a gun. I'm telling you, it's bigger than that. But let me know what y'all think of this. Free Tory. Free him. You got doggone right I said it. Free him. You know? Free him. But I love y'all. God bless you all and your family. Let me know what y'all think of this, and I will catch y'all on the next one, man.